by C4, Cellucor, and Extend. Use the code Clydesdale to get 20% off at checkout at c4energy.com. The 2023 season series with some amazing athletes. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notifier so you're the first to know when new episodes are available. Good morning, everyone. We are off to CrossFit Chalk Dust, or Chalk Dust CrossFit. I got to get that right. But I am going there to film 23.1 with Rudy Berger. This is the first week of our new endeavor of covering athletes throughout the CrossFit season. And Rudy gives me an excellent opportunity because he's here in town, just a neighboring little suburb of Powell. So like 10 minutes away. I get to drive over there, get to film him and do some interviews with him directly after the workout, as well as get some feedback from the community, maybe his family. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I can't wait to bring this to you. But yeah, unique opportunity, and can't wait to get started with Rudy. You know, he was a CrossFit Games champion last year, and it's cool that we get to kind of see what his season looks like, what the training's going to look like, all of that stuff. And so sit back and relax, people. It's going to be a long season, but we're going to be there for the whole thing, and going to get to Chalk Dust right now. Talk to you soon. As I arrived at Chalk Dust, there was some tension in the air. Rudy took some time to meet with his coaches. And then a little private moment with his wife. And then it was go time. So, Rudy, last year you won the games. We talked to you right after that.
Yeah.
What opportunities have come your way since you won the games that have changed your life and your perspective on the sport?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. I mean, the first thing, kind of obvious, I got invited to 2 competitions, like an automatic invite, so I didn't have to do the qualifier for both the Legends competition at Mayheim this year and then Wadapalooza. So getting an invite, not having to do like the video submission was really exciting. And my, my wife, trainer coach Lynette, was like, hey, let's take this opportunity, like let's ride this momentum, keep going. We'll keep training at a high level, but not like games prep training, and you'll just get you ready for these competitions. And any competition is experience to get better. And that opportunity was going to these competitions and learning things through success and failures that I didn't learn at the games. And that is just like, between Legends and Wadapalooza, the lessons I learned there has just made me more ready to continue to compete. So those are 2 great opportunities.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but the story is that Lynette bought you an assault bike to let you know that it was time to give you some me time to be able to go for this this goal of yours to win the games.
That is correct.
A C2.
Okay, all right.
C2.
C2 bike, that was my Christmas
It was like
present.
a hint.
Yeah.
And then the session with Scott
Scott
was
Panchek.
the other kind of push in the.
Yeah, and that just got things rolling.
So Lynette, I ask you, this puts a lot on your plate as well. I watched it today. I watched all the setup. You're the judge, the coach, the cheerleader, everything that is possible. Rudy's won the games. Are you willing to put in that time for another season?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, it's really hard to answer it, but simply seeing him happy and pursuing a dream, it's my happiness. So anything that I can do to support that, I'm in 100%.
So you win the games, you complete your goal.
Yep.
Is it going to be harder to get the motivation to go for a repeat, or did you get such a taste of it that it's going to be easy?
So I'd say it's both. It really is, because before we didn't totally know what we were getting into. We didn't know what it actually took. We realized that we struck that balance of hitting the volume and intensity that's needed to do it, the sacrifice. So yeah, taking a step back and saying, okay, are we willing to do that again and potentially more? Because, with CrossFit, every year you have to raise the bar. That's just how it works. So it's like, all right, are we ready to put in that much more than last year? And it was a couple of weeks after the games, I looked at her and said, you ready to do this again? She's like, yep. So yeah, she's ready. And now it's just we are working more towards making it a sustainable thing that we're doing as a family unit, just so it's like this is kind of our thing. It was just hey, let's go for it this one year. This is my chance, like the Eminem song, right? You only get one shot. Now it's like, hey, this is our lifestyle. We see the benefits of it. Let's just keep going.
Yeah.
So on a macro level, you win the games once, and that's awesome. But you have the potential to cement a legacy by becoming a repeat winner, and that maybe not once, maybe a couple times. Have you taken time to sit back and think about that, or do you not have time to do that?
Honestly,
Do you want me to help you with that?
Yeah, sure.
Because I see it. I think that, for example, he wins the games, and then a few months later we go to Legends. And it's like the expectation of performing at a certain level is there. So while we may not have sat down yet and like really thought about winning the games, it's kind of like a constant reminder anytime that you are competing. So recently with Legends and Wadapalooza, which he won Wadapalooza, he got second at Legends. It's one of those pressures that, you know, it's new and it's something that we're not used to. And we are using it as positive motivation to say, you know, you belong here. You know, this wasn't a chance. It wasn't a coincidence. You worked for it. And so while it adds another pressure that we didn't have to deal with last year, we're trying to channel it in a positive way.
Absolutely.
And so one thing that we really worked hard to do last year was staying focused on the task at hand. So yes, we want to get to the games, and of course we would like to repeat. That would be the goal. But now we have to worry about the open, quarters, and then semis. So we're really trying to stay in the moment.
Very, very well said.
So, and apparently she's PR and media as well.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
So, last question on the off season is: you've had the opportunity, you've been invited to training camps,
yes.
that you never had before.
Right.
What's it like getting out there and seeing how other people do it?
That was really fun.
It was fun.
Shout out to our boy Roy.
Yeah.
In Southland camp. And all the new people we met down there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing group of people.
Yes.
What I learned was I'm more similar to I guess the elite athletes than I thought. You know what I mean? I kind of put them on a pedestal and said their lifestyle is completely different. They're all in, but most of them are similar to me. Most of them have jobs and they're making a lot of sacrifices. Their families are making a lot of sacrifice for them to pursue their dreams. And to be able to identify with those, that was really neat.
Yeah.
It was cool.
At least the ones that we met at camp.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was really exciting.
So let's get to today.
Yeah.
23.1. I know that Lynette got a text right before the workout went.
Yeah.
What's it like having a legend in your corner giving you advice? And if for people who don't know, you guys have a relationship with Scott Panchek.
Yep. Yes.
And so you get a text right before 23.1 about the strategy that Rudy needs to take today.
Yeah, and I think, so obviously Scott has been amazing through over a year.
Yeah.
You know, he's always, you know, he's the one that really helped Rudy believe in himself. And not the first one, but like somebody that we look up to. So, you know, the community here, you saw how many people were here today.
Yeah.
They all believe in Rudy, like Mike and Caitlin, our gym owners who have seen him grow for like the last 9 years.
Yeah.
They've always believed in him. But having somebody at such elite level that has so much experience say, you can do this, just hits different because it kind of makes you really kind of reflect and take a chance that maybe you wouldn't otherwise.
Right.
So
helps the confidence.
Over the years, Scott has been amazing from so many different coaching aspects, like obviously tactical and strategic, but also mental. Like when our confidence is a little shaky, he's like there to kind of remind us that we work hard and we're putting the work in and the time in.
Yeah.
I think now he's like pushing us to be a little bit more confident and trust myself a little bit more as a coach.
Yeah.
So I texted him like what we were doing, and I'm kind of searching for that validation. And so getting that back from him, it's like, all right, we're not crazy. Or maybe we are a little crazy, but we got somebody else that approves.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So the pressures of doing an open workout, the video submissions, just to let our listeners know, you had 4 cameras set up.
Yes.
Just to make sure that if one went down, you had 3 backups.
Yes.
You actually use a backup judge.
Yes.
So if something happens with the judge, this backup can jump in and take over.
Yes.
To see, I think Rudy put it, how the sausage is made is crazy from behind the scenes. And I work at a gym with Christy Eromo Ocano, who does a lot of the same stuff. So I wanted the pressure. What is harder, doing the pressure of the workout or the pressure of the setup?
I think, I don't know. It's a tie. I feel like I worked out for 2 hours.
Yeah. I would say, you know, the Lynette and the team that has from our community that has come together, and they're all really accountable for the jobs that they have. I mean, you saw it, Scott. That allows me to focus on my warm up, do exactly what I need to do to get ready, to mentally get in that right space. And I have that confidence and that trust of that team that they've thought of all, and they have it all ready and say, okay, where do I need to go for each movement? You tell me what to do, and then I can put, like, my bucket of energy only has so much physical and mental in that bucket, and when I can just minimize the mental energy, it gives me all that much more for my physical energy.
So let's give a shout out to the media team.
Oh,
Yes. Chuck Dust Media
like,
Team.
seriously, they are the best. And so last year, it kind of happened organically where, it was me setting up some cameras on a box, and then people were like, you look like you need help. And I'm like, yes, please help me. And then they were like, oh, you want help next week? And it just kind of grew into this team.
It snowballed.
That, just showed up. And
Yeah.
so as it got more serious through the qualification process, like, they really were the leaders of this effort. Like, they run it by me to make sure that everything is good,
impressive.
because at the end of the day, it is his workout, and so I want to make sure that I know what's going on. But they do a lot of the work. They study the scorecard and the instructions to make sure we're on the same page. I asked them that. I'm like, I don't want to rely on just my knowledge, so please make sure that we know all the rules. Coming into the season, I think a few weeks ago I said, guys, are you ready for this? And so today, I said, I know today's a little less pressure because it's just the open, but then, you saw the difficulties of capturing all of these movements because every gym is different. So
Good warm up for the season.
everybody that showed up, I mean, I'm just going to say their names: Katie, Jess, Tim, Jason, and of course, Mike and Caitlin, who are always letting us do everything we need with the gym.
So the workout itself.
Yeah.
So were you doing CrossFit in 2014? Did you do the open?
No, this is the open the year before I started.
Okay.
So I did do this workout back in 17 when I was a 1 hour a day CrossFitter.
Yeah.
So I did have a little bit of a baseline, but that was still 6 years ago.
So going into it, what was the goal?
So the goal was to get into the rower on that second round. So get through the ring muscle ups, and then, quote unquote, go dark during that row and get maximum as much as I could. So I exceeded really my goal.
Yeah, from an observer's point of view, your second row seemed much faster than your first row.
And we knew that had to be the case.
Yeah.
We knew that first row had to be good, but
paced,
but not all out.
Yeah.
The second row is really where you had to just give it everything you had left.
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah, I rode, and I did the math with how much time was left on the clock to get the 60 cals. And I said, okay, I need to hold, I think it was 1,600 cals per hour above that, and I'll hit 60, and I was holding above that. But then near the end, I started kind of getting a little dark, where when you blink and it's a slow blink, so it was really getting there. But I knew I was holding that pace. I was like, okay, I'll be able to finish that 60, and I'm going to have a little bit of time to try to get a toes to bar, which I was able to get one as I stumbled off the rower and made my way for one.
So what was interesting about your one toes to bar is that you had to be facing the camera.
Yes.
You went to the bar and were not facing the camera, and someone had to pivot you.
Yes, that is correct.
A forced pivot, is that what we call that?
Yes, I don't think I've ever pivoted him that hard in his life. But the funny part about this is I told the media team, I said, watch this. He's going to get off that rower, and he's going to grab the first pull-up bar to get that toe to bar in. So I need a line for him to see where he needs to go. And I knew that something goofy was going to happen at some point during the workout. So I'm glad I was ready to turn him the right way. Because, that it was worth that toe to bar. I mean, how great that he was able to get one before that time expired. So
right.
It's always something fun during the workout. It doesn't fail.
So quick question about the workout. What was the movement that you knew you could push the pedal down?
The rower. Yeah. So in training And Lynette kind of followed this same strategy from Scott Panchik. It's like, hey, Rudy, when you're training, you have to keep your strengths sharp. Work on your weaknesses. Yeah, that's what you have to go after. But your strengths, you have to keep sharp. So in my training, I hit machines very often. And the rower was the first machine I had in our basement during COVID, so I spent a lot of time on it. And so I felt confident that, hey, I can push the row.
I've watched a lot of videos of this workout. Your muscle ups were strong.
Thank you.
Is that something that you have always been good at, or something that's improved over time?
I'll take this one. So,
Oh gosh. Okay.
so my worst event at the CrossFit Games was with the ring muscle ups. And those have always been a struggle for me. And so after the games, we started focusing on ring muscle ups. We did some programming from a strength perspective. We got help from some resources, like Lynette did her thing to where she reached out to, Christy and Pat Ermo, and they just, they had a couple sessions where they just helped me work on how to do things better. And really the difference was, once I started to be able to move easier, that kind of gave me some confidence. And so those muscle ups just started getting better and better. Yeah.
I would like to add to that, if I may.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so he's a very competitive person. So that lowest placement at the games, obviously we took note, and we said during the off season that has to be an area of focus. And I am very aware of my boundaries as far as a coach. So I knew I had to reach out for help. And so Christy and Pat, I cannot even describe how amazing of people they are. They helped us so much, and they spent so much time with Rudy one-on-one, just helping him just with a few cues that we could bring back to training and just hammer on. So I'm so thankful for their help. That was a game changer. And then another note was, at Wadapalooza, we had what I called a chance for redemption with the ring muscle up.
Rings and squats, yeah.
At Legends, we learned that we needed to work on gymnastics. It's another reminder. So about a month or so between Legends and Wadapalooza, we took that to heart. And Wadapalooza brought an opportunity to test that, training.
Ring muscle ups, yep.
So it was a 15, 12, 9 ring muscle ups, and then 21,
12, 9, 6.
Oh yeah, sorry, 12, 9, 6. And so that was a vote of confidence. He actually won that event. So it was really great to see that hard work pay off, and helps his confidence. And today, obviously, that showed. Yeah,
thank you.
Do you think it was more an efficiency change than a capacity change?
Both. Yeah, I think the becoming more efficient unlocked that capacity. That I feel I may have had, like strength and conditioning wise, but it was until I brought that efficiency, and with efficiency comes confidence, comes breathing. that's one of the cues I learned. Hey, you should breathe while you're doing ring muscle. It's just those little things. So both capacity and efficiency.
And I think one of the things that maybe all of us can relate to, whether we are beginners or elite, is sometimes you learn a movement kind of on your own, and you just do it and do it. And if you've done it for 8 years, you just build some habits that are not great if you want to compete for elite, level. So breaking down those patterns and relearning how to do the movement properly was really something that we had to do. And nobody likes doing that. I mean, let's be honest. Who wants to work on drilling and be in the low rings and do things that are kind of boring, but it's absolutely necessary in order to set you up to be more successful.
Very true.
The last thing I'm going to ask you before I let you go for the day, and thank you so much for letting me be here.
You're welcome.
And I can't wait to hang out with you all season long.
Yeah.
Is this is just part of your training day?
Yes.
That's correct.
Right. The open is you've got to keep training. You're not ready to peak yet.
Correct.
So what does the rest of the day look like?
Coach?
So I told him, I'm like, I promise there won't be any ring muscle ups or wall balls or rowing. So today we'll focus on strength. So we'll have a little chat here in a little bit and see how the body feels, but it will likely be strength and then some other skills that don't involve any of the movements we just did. Yeah, so we'll be here for another probably 2 hours.
And then tomorrow rest day, or do we?
Nope, tomorrow's a training day. And the reason for that is, as you know, he works full time. So our heaviest days are Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we rest on Monday.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll have fun on Monday.
Thank you.
Well earned.
And we will see you back here next week.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Sky. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
So that wraps up week 1 of the CrossFit Open with Rudy Berger. What a fun time getting to hang out with him and Lynette. So appreciative that they're allowing me to spend the next couple weeks with them all the way through the games we're anticipating. It's going to be fun to see which of his goals he accomplishes, what legacy he creates. Next week, we're going to focus on the family dynamic. They have Lynette and Rudy have 2 small kids, and we're going to talk to them about what it's like to have a dad who is doing all the amazing things he's doing. And then week 3, we're going to focus a little bit more on the community that comes out and supports Rudy every week, the media team behind everything that they do to make sure that every video submission is done correctly. So with that, it's been a fun time. I'm headed back home now. My little 10-minute jaunt back across the river to Lewis Center. And with that, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you for joining us on Clydesdale Media, the 2023 season series with some amazing athletes. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notifier so you first know